Hi, I'm Dr. V. Boykin, a former single mom, stripper, felon, now keynote speaker, two-time author. I tell the truth about how to navigate challenging personal and professional situations. And I'm going to say the quiet thing out loud, the thing that still makes rooms go silent. And it's not even that I used to be a stripper or a felon. Surprisingly, it's that I don't get along with my biological mother. I don't feel the soft affinity. I don't have the relationship. I've tried. I'm sure she would tell you the same thing that she's tried. It's just not a fit. And it hasn't been a fit. It never was a fit. In the same way, you're supposed to be managed by someone who is smarter than you, someone who is at least as smart as you, someone you respect, or someone that is respectful of your intelligence. We know that always doesn't happen either. It's embarrassing. It's uncomfortable. It's a dynamic that should be present, but then isn't. And when it isn't present, the ripple effects are massive. In the same way you don't love some of your family, or you may not respect some of your family, you may not respect your boss. And sometimes you don't even respect the entire ethos or actions of the company you work for. Maybe that's because it changed once you joined, or because it was a facade and it never actually existed and you uncovered it the longer you were at a company. So what do? In the cases where you don't have a manager that you can trust to set up boundaries, to set your moral code or your moral professional code and compass, yeah, you have to set it yourself. The same as you have to set your own moral code and boundaries when you don't have that close insular relationship with who should be your primary caregivers. And those boundaries, that moral code developing is hard and it's expensive. It comes with a privilege, a luxury, because when you say no to something, when you set that professional boundary or personal, it can have ripple effects. But as someone who did commit a felony related to workplace activities, let me tell you how important your boundaries and moral compass are, because your manager can lead you right down the wrong path. Trust me, I know. And I experienced the consequences while they were just fine, as well as others. So, what works for others may not work for you, but you must decide who you are, how you are, and what you will and will not do, and what you will and will not stand up for. Because if the person doesn't respect you, they're going to violate your boundaries. And if the person is not respectable, they're violating boundaries. And you don't want to get caught up in that, whether it's personal or professional. So yeah, you might not get along with your mother. You might not get along with your boss. You might not get along with your company. But who you are as an individual, your moral compass, your boundaries has to be clearly defined in both instances, because the cost is simply too high if it's not.